everybody, and welcome to Liberty Traders for yet another update. So today we're going to focus on just another short-term update, just to see where we find ourselves and what's going on currently in the markets and with Bitcoin. So as we can see, we're hovering around this daily level, as we spoke about in the previous stream, and yeah, I was definitely mentioning that we're looking at this channel. And obviously envisioning that we're going to put in some sort of a range after this big drop. And that's exactly what happened. So if we zoom in over here, I'm just going to get right into this to see what's going on, to see if we can catch a nice little trade coming up, and just to make sure that we are aware of what's going on. So obviously we can see the speed fan that we have on. First of all, sorry, before I zoom in, we've come over to the 618 speed fan. So that's a very significant level of support. As we breach this daily, we've come to knock on the door of the 618 quite a few times, and that's absolutely major support at the moment. So we can just see if we lose this level, we can definitely look down a little bit lower, either just taking a little swing failure pattern of these lows, potentially then taking these lows as well. So we'll just see what potential we have after taking those lows, or if we are going to go higher up. What I'm going to do is just zoom into this channel that we were looking at and see what happened. I'm actually just going to put off this speed fan that we're looking at. Let's quickly just put that off. As we can see, this channel that we had on, we actually didn't put the range in right away, as I thought. But we can see that this acted as very great support. And as soon as we lost the level, got back tested, and we had a nice little drop again. Like I was mentioning as well, if we just zoom out again, we had that point of control that we were looking at. Let's just actually see what's going on with the point of control now. Okay, so that's exactly the point of controls actually shifted at the moment. If we just take this all the way down to the low, let's just see. Okay, the point of control is exactly at that point as well. So it was a little bit lower before, but obviously now with this new volume, we can see that the point of control has definitely shifted. So it's a significant level nonetheless. But at the time, the point of control was a little bit lower. So I was thinking if it does drop, we'd come into that point of control, and that's exactly what we did at the time, by losing the daily. And now what we can see is in this channel, we've come back up, it tested it, dropped again, tested it as another resistance level, come back down, eventually breaking up and taking into this middle section of the channel, immediately rejected. There's obviously another few reasons why we've come to stop at this level. Let's just jump over to our Liberty levels. I'm just gonna zoom in quickly and see what we've got going on. Yeah, so these are Liberty levels. Because I'm more than welcome to ask us about this if you guys want more information. So we can see that we've come into this previous month break, and that's quite a big level that we were aware of as well. And at the time when we reached the middle section of this channel, it came in right into the previous month equilibrium, which we were also aware of at the time, and that obviously gave us another drop. So let's just switch that off. Obviously we can see that this is not actually a channel, although it is respected. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move this channel down all the way to the low. This is still a great SR level. We can definitely see this acting as support. I mean, look at this bounce back up, knocking on the door again and hovering around this level. So I would say this daily level is actually a huge level. But in terms of a little nice range, I'm just going to move this channel over here purely because this looks like a much better range that we could be aware of. So this is still a high I'm looking at to be taken. If we do take a rise up, the moment we can see we're making higher lows on the chart. We did do a little swing failure pattern on these lows, but we've still got the higher low in place with these two lows still intact. What we can also add on to the chart is just a little local volume profile. So I'm just going to add this on there now. And as we can see, we've got the value area high coming in, which is currently acting as resistance. Got the point of control acting as support. We're definitely hovering between these two areas. So at the moment, we're just trying to see where this is going to lead and go. And if we are going to go higher, ultimately the value area low acted as great support. We've come down. We can see it was tested well. Got back into the value area low, ultimately leading to the value area high. So these are definitely significant levels. If we do manage to break the value area high, we can start looking to take this high. There's another big reason why I'm also looking at that level. As we can see, just like to pull a little fib from that high. And we can actually see it's coming into the 382 level. So to me, this could possibly be a little down 5 wave, possibly coming in for a 4th wave, and then ultimately going down for a 5. So, it's just like a little correction pattern. Obviously, we don't know this for sure, but ultimately looking at a correction pattern, we can look at a 5-3-5. It all depends what's going to happen next in terms of this current rejection. So if we do reject at the 382, we can then start looking for another wave to be put in. And ultimately, a very simple way of doing that is going from low to high. Wherever the high is going to be put in, let's say it does a swing failure of the high, we can add a little expansion on there. And then we can start looking at lower levels. 20,400 is then the first stop at the 1.236. And obviously we've got the 1.618 coming in at this monthly level. So that's two valid levels that we can look at for support if we do get a rejection and ultimately lose this channel, and then go test these lower support levels. Once that's put in, we can then look at the reaction, the volume, the delta, the CVD, and just try and see if we're going to take this long. And then obviously we'll definitely be looking into this resistance area to the weekly perhaps, which is a nice little 13%, even a little bit higher, that we can take. So then we can definitely look ultimately from high to wherever this low is put in. Could definitely look at the 618. As you can see, that's close to the weekly area. So yeah, when we get to that, we will definitely start looking at different levels. But for now, we will be waiting for this reaction to take place. I'm also just going to look at some other potential, let's call it time. I like looking at my fib times. And what we can do is we can see if we can get a reaction at a certain time. And what I'm going to do is, this is just the first low to high pivot, and we can look for support. This is coming on the 25th of August. So that seems a little bit, might not have a reaction on this specific day, but it can go past a 1-to-1. At the end of the day, your corrections are longer than your impulse waves. Obviously, this is a very strange impulse wave. It's not really a proper impulse, but it's definitely a valid level to look at nonetheless. So I'll be looking at support coming in between the 21st to the 31st of August, close to the end of the month, for a possible low to be put in due to this fib time. So that's very nice to be aware of. If we do another pivot, we can look at the bigger pivots, which also lines up close at the end of the month. This is more in just the beginning of September, 3rd of September, which could also be a possible low pivot to be put in. So we'll be waiting and monitoring this to see what's to come. And then what else can we be looking at? We can also add on this fib channel that I was also mentioning in the previous stream. We can definitely see that we're very close to the bottom of this channel. And we really did a nice little, we did breach below it previously, which means we can also breach below this. It doesn't have to act as a solid level. As we can see, we don't have enough touch points really to say this is going to be very big support. I'd rather look at this fib fan and rather look at the 75 speed fan, which is more of a significant level at the moment. And then what we can also do is we can look at just the volume again. I'll just like to just mention those volume levels. Let's just quickly have a look and see what we've got. I just like to add the volume all the way from the low to the current date. As we can see, this is a point of control, and the Valeria low is definitely coming in at the 19K area. So if we do lose this point of control and we can't actually get back above, we can definitely start looking at the Valeria low. Obviously, we are in this correction phase at the moment, you know, just basically looking at just very quickly resistance. As we can see, if we do come up after we're doing like a wave 5 correction type, closer to either the 24 or coming a little bit lower, as mentioned, we can then start looking at the 618 coming into this trend line. So we'll definitely be monitoring that to see if we will then be ultimately coming up, breaking down, getting back into this channel, and then ultimately breaching above that. You know, it just all depends how this plays out, and then we can ultimately drop. This is obviously not a perfect line. It all depends how long we take, and there's many factors and tools we can use to start looking at where the potential pivots will come in. Obviously 121, 106, 118. So we will get to this when we do have our reactions. For now, we just need to wait and see what's going to happen in the immediate short term. So what we can do is, I also like looking at some divergences. Let's just quickly see what's happening. I actually like looking at the CVO, which doesn't really matter. You can use the RSI as well. So what I'm going to do is, this is obviously on the 4 hour. We're just trying to see at the volume and trying to figure out what's going on at the moment. You can obviously see the selling pressure is quite high at the moment, and definitely making bullish divergences on the 4 hour on the CVO. Let's quickly see on the daily what we can see. According to the daily, the selling pressure is definitely dying off on the daily compared to this low. Much more selling going on over there. Compared to these lows, we haven't really reached this yet, so we don't really have daily bullish divergences on this area. But in terms of this, it does look like the selling pressure is dying off. So which means we can just start looking, you know, if these lows are taken, start looking for a little relief rally, looking for resistance. But on the 4 hour, we can see clear that the selling pressure is very high on this drop. And we can definitely see we've got some bullish divergences on the 4 hour. So that's a very good indication that we can look for a nice little rally up. So I'll be waiting to look for that reaction. So that's a very good way of just trying to find out if you reach a significant support, which we are currently hovering at now, where and what we'll be trading next. So obviously this is a nice little range, absolutely amazing. I mean, it's been going from this pivot low, that's almost 3% up, back down another 3%. From this low, weakening all the way, that's a nice 5% trade. You see, so that's a very nice way of trading. If you envision a channel, and back at immediately when we had this drop, I made that stream and I was mentioning that we can put in a range, and these are the type of things that you want to start realizing in the markets, of when we're going to drop further, when we're going to put in a range. And as soon as you see these signals and signs, you can just trade the range and trade until it breaks. So that is exactly what we teach at Liberty Traders, and how to take nice trading setups even on the lower term time frame. And it really, really, really is amazing. So for now, we're definitely on support on this daily level, and we can definitely start looking for some more upside. As we see, we do have some bullish divergences. Let's just, for interest sake, just look at the low term frame weekly on the RSI and see what we've got going on there. It's always nice to always zoom in and see what's going on the lower term frame. So we're definitely on the oversold area on the 4-hour since we've dropped. Definitely making some bullish divergences on the 4-hour, as well as on the MACD as well. So definitely do see some signs of a possible little rally up on the daily. Let's have a look. Yeah, we can definitely see we've got some bullish divergences going on the daily as well. With this MACD, we can definitely see there is some selling pressure, but ultimately the RSI is showing us some bullish divergence. So we can just monitor this and see what's going to happen next. Let's have a look on the 15 minutes. So we can see on the 15 minutes that it's just busy ranging at the moment. That's all we're doing at the moment. We can see that we did have some momentum loss on the RSI, and it's just hovering around making a decision. There's no final decision made yet. So we can just monitor the volume tomorrow and see where we're heading. But obviously we're on the point of control on that daily level. So if we do come down to this daily level, get back over the POC, we can look for higher. What else? What else is there that we can look at? We can then switch over to the ES and just see what we've got going on over here. As we can see, we definitely do have some correction going on. We haven't lost these lows as of yet. So I wouldn't really be looking at this fib time just yet. Obviously, we've got the speed fan going on, but ultimately looking at like this being like some sort of an impulse wave, possibly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What we can do is just look at the 382, currently just above the 382. So if we do come down to the 382, we can see that we're taking these lows. Definitely would look at the reaction on the 382. And I did mention this on the previous stream as well. Yeah, we'll be looking at this 382 from this pivot low and looking at the reaction. So that's something definitely we can be aware of, and see what this reaction is going to be. That's going to be very interesting. So I'll definitely keeping my eye on that. You can just look at the DXY. Currently, we have not reached these highs yet. Currently rejecting. But just some key levels I've added, and this is a macro 786 that we've got here at 110. on the DXY. Currently, if we can't breach this high, we can definitely start looking for more downside. And then I'll be looking at the stock markets where we're heading, if we're going to make another level up. So what we can look at, a level, if we do come to the 382, we can just look at expansion, and then we can definitely see that we're getting into the 10236 or the 106.8, which is also both between, this is a close to this key level area. And what we can also look at just the higher term levels. It's obviously the golden pocket, but that's getting close to the 786 area. So yeah, I'll definitely be aware of this. Obviously, it will then look like we're breaching this trend line. Obviously, if we do back test it, we can look for higher. Otherwise, we will be continuing with the correction after we've done this, this full 1, 2, 3, possibly fifth wave. We can look for a larger second wave coming in for support, for a nice little retrace, and then going for further upside for an impulse wave. So that's just something to be aware of. It's just always nice doing some wave counts in between your analysis. What we can also look at is Ethereum. I've definitely mentioned this value area low is a significant support if this key level is lost. I know at the time I was mentioning that we are at resistance on the previous stream, and that this was significant, is still significant support and resistance, but obviously we couldn't stay above that 75 macro speed fan. Ultimately lost it, and now we're at the macro value area low. So this is very, very big support, and we'll definitely be monitoring this level, and if this can hold, we can definitely start looking for another push up. All depending where this level ends, we can also do an expansion, and ultimately looking for the next target to the upside, before another possible rejection, if we do find ourselves at resistance. So definitely levels that we're going to be aware of. Obviously, I'm going very quickly through these levels. I have a lot of thoughts that go through my mind while I do technical analysis, and yeah, it's too much to explain. So if you guys do want to know more and find out, you guys can go follow our Discord. You guys can give me a tag, ask me how I'm doing this. You guys can definitely ask for some one-on-one mentoring. Our premium is going live very soon again, and then we'll definitely release our modules and see how we can help you guys just know how to make use of all these different levels in trading. So that's it for Ethereum. We can just look at the ETH BTC chart as well. We're still hovering around this resistance at these weekly levels and at the 786. So there's definitely significant resistance still on ETH BTC. Yeah, if we do find some strength, we do break above these levels, we can definitely look for some strength on Ethereum. What I'd also just like to look at, I always go over to the Bitcoin dominance, and what we can see is, yeah, currently still at the support area. If we do lose these low levels, we can definitely start looking for lower, which means Ethereum and the altcoins would do much better. But obviously for now, we are on a support level on the Bitcoin dominance, and we can definitely monitor this and see if we do have rotation back to the upside, which means Bitcoin will take back some dominance. But I'm definitely aware that Ethereum is very, very strong, and if we do get some strength into Ethereum, the altcoins will follow, and we will definitely get a nice spike on the altcoins. But for now, I'm really looking at the Bitcoin charts and ultimately waiting for the stock markets to make a final decision. And we can definitely just keep trading this range. It's absolutely easy. There's no point in adding any emotions to the chart. We can really just go and trade this short resistance and long support. It's absolutely an amazing way to trade. If you're in some longs from the low, you can take profits at the high. Don't have to close the trade. You can take a short trade, take profits at the low, open another long, or add compound on this long. And that way you always protect it up and down. You know, it's a lovely way to do trading. So yeah, that's it on the Bitcoin chart. Just a quick little update on where we are currently. Ultimately, if this channel holds to the upside, we can definitely look for further upside, looking for rejection close to the weekly. If we do break down lower, as mentioned, we have that expansion going on. And also, if I just zoom out to the 4-hourly, we can definitely see that we'll be taking these lows, grabbing some liquidity, possibly getting back into this channel, and then look for another rise up. We've got massive support coming in. As mentioned before, we can just add on this volume profile as well. We can just see what's going on. This is at amazing 20,500 level, which would be absolutely amazing in confluence with that expansion if we do get to this level as a naked point of control. And then obviously this value area low is coming in at the around this monthly area at the 19,900 area. So this is significant support we have at the moment. So that's it, guys. This is keep it simple. Don't overthink the charts. Currently in a correction phase, so we can definitely look for the correction patterns to play out. If we do have some sort of a 535, we can look at you know, some trend-based Fibonacci. Obviously, depending where the low is going to be put in for A, we can then start looking for where we get the rejection from, and then potentially look for the one-to-one of that wave. So I'm just thinking in the future, would be absolutely amazing to take these lows and then do another massive rally to the upside, potentially doing a 1-2 and then an impulse 3. So I'm just thinking out loud. Obviously got to wait and see what the reactions are, what the waves are going to look like. But for now, we've got this lovely range. Trade it. If it breaks, you can take a long. If we go to the downside, we can take a lovely little short, take quick profits, and then look for divergence to take a long again. So absolutely amazing trading environment at the moment. Gotta love the charts. I'm very passionate about the charts, and I'm very excited for the next coming days and weeks, and possibly looking for some massive trades coming in, especially if we do reach this monthly level. It's going to be very exciting to see if we can do a monthly close above this level, potentially then looking for much higher levels. So that's it, guys. We'll definitely do another update soon. If you guys have any questions, please let us know. And yeah, if there's anything that you guys would like me to change, also let me know in the comments. And if you guys want to know more, you guys are more than welcome to head off to our website. You guys can have a look at all our social media platforms. We do some updates there, and we've got some exciting things coming for the future. So yeah, have a lovely day, and we'll catch you guys on the next stream. Have a good one. Cheers. Bye.